Today, I'll be planting these in a planter. These multicolored violas. There's three colors in here. We have orange, yellow, and white. I'm going to be putting these in this two-part planter, which is it's plastic, sturdy plastic, and has a base to it. So pop that on in, and this urn planter is ready to go. So what I'm going to do is fill in the bottom part with topsoil, and the top, well, more than half with garden soil. It's Miracle Grow garden soil, and some garden grow topsoil. So this topsoil is just to fill in the space at the bottom. Um, this urn pot doesn't have any drain holes in it, but I've had other pots without drain holes in them, and they did well through the summer because they were drying out too fast with the drain holes. So I guess I'll just have to be careful watering this, and if I have problems, drilling the holes in the bottom is not going to be too hard to do. I have several other colors here, and I noticed that this white one has purple lines in it. I haven't seen one like that in a while. You can see the difference between the violas and the pansies. Okay, the violas here have smaller petals, but there's more blooms on the plant. Just look at the size. Let me compare these sizes here. Okay, this is a pansy here, and this is a viola. See how much smaller the blooms are on the viola? But you get a lot more blooms. So before I do any planting, I'm just going to do my little routine maintenance, going through, pinching off these spent blooms, and then we can get them planted up. I think three is going to do good in this pot. I'm going with the orange and white because it goes with the plants in the yard, and she has an orange wreath on the door, so it's going to look pretty good. And her other plants have a mixture of other colors, and the orange and white is just going to tie it in. This pot's going to be sitting in a spot that gets 6 or more hours of sunlight. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put in topsoil in the bottom. I'll be putting the topsoil at the bottom and enough garden soil to surround the plants. I don't use potting soil in my pots because it drains so fast, and sometimes we have intense summers. Some peat or perlite with this topsoil so that it's drainable. Probably some orchid bark or something to so the water doesn't just collect in the bottom. Um, I'm debating on whether this is going to be drainable or not. Well, this topsoil is dense, and I don't overwater, so I think it'll be fine because in the summertime, these pots are going to be drying out quick anyway. So we're at the end of February, and I'm putting these pansies in so that we have some color going into the spring. Now, as I add the topsoil, I'm leaving enough space so that the garden soil can completely surround the viola root balls. And also, there's going to still be enough space in this pot with drainable soil to prevent the root rot. Now, what I'm doing is good for conditions in our area. I don't use potting soil because it drains out too fast. And we use the Miracle Grow because it holds on to the water long enough for the violas to get the nutrients. We went with the black urn because all the pots out front are black, and this orange, yellow, and white will really stand out. They'll get nice and bushy and look good until the mid-spring. Now, before I plant them, I'm going to be checking them out for pests and spent blooms. See, like this one. Medium watering, full to part sun. Now, if they're in the shade, they will grow, but you'll have less blooms. I'm moving the soil, but when I plant this, I'm not planting it right up against the pot, leaving some soil between the root ball and the pot for insulation. Even though I'm digging down in here to get this properly planted, I'm nowhere near the topping soil. I mean the top soil. Okay, this is not root bound, and I'm gonna place it in there and surround it with some good soil. I'm leaving a lip along the top here. See, the soil is down at least an inch here. In this case, it's a little more than an inch. I can raise this flower up a little bit, and that inch will give me, it gives the water a nice ridge so that it doesn't spill out while you're watering. And with these in the summertime, if you have a lot of watering to do, you can flood this pot out and then just let it soak in. See, when it's filled, when they're filled all the way to the top, you have to sit there and let it soak in, and then water, let it soak in. But in this situation, with the soil down an inch, you can just flood her out and keep on rolling. This soil is already moist, and I don't even think I'm going to water this because the soil is so wet. Okay, still wet. See, and this is almost perfect, and it's got enough peat in there to where it falls apart still. And when I squeeze it, it doesn't stay together. That's a good indication of good drainable soil. So just 3 is going to be enough for this pot because they will spread and fill this pot out. believe we have this all set. Just a few reminders here. Okay, I have 3 in here because I know they're gonna get bushy. And I usually have a habit of filling pots all the way up because I want that instant gratification. You see the soil is right to the top of the root balls, and avoid putting the soil up against the plants. And we have a lip along the edge here to catch that water. So when you water it, you can just let that water uh, soak on in, and then you can just walk away and then go to your next pot. And it makes watering a lot easier. And I like violas because they're easy to maintain and pots are at a good working height. Gonna get in here and level this area out because that's where I'm gonna sit it. And I don't know if you can see on the screen or not, but there's a sprinkler there, and I want this pot to be sitting where it won't interfere with the sprinkler, because this sprinkler here is set at a this sprinkler is set at a 90-degree angle so that it can water, oh excuse me, 180, almost a 180-degree angle, so it waters that little grass area there on the other side of the sidewalk and the bigger part of the yard. So I got this area leveled out. I'm gonna put her in place and then backfill. I'm going to cover up the base so that it's nice and stabilized, so that when we get our windy days, it won't topple over. Push this soil up around it and add the rest of this topsoil. That ought to hold it in place. And if it falls over after this, well, I just have to fix it, because this right here will have it anchored in really good. If it falls over with all this soil here, then it was a real windy day. I'm gonna get all this out and spread it out to grade. Gonna get this smoothed out on this pie-shaped bed so that we have a nice surface to add the mulch. I'm tucking in along the driveway to prevent the washout, and it looks a lot neater when you tuck the edges in. Packing the soil down so that the pot will be nice and sturdy, and making sure that I don't cover up the sprinkler. Gonna put in some lava rock along this edge here for looks, and also it will prevent the mulch from washing out. pie-shaped bed will be complete once I smooth out the mulch and get the lumps out. Just going to go through with my hands and just smooth it out, clean up as I go, get my bags and everything picked up like a neat area. And I'm just going to go through and smooth everything out for the final touch and blow the driveway. And this will be ready to go. We have some candy tufts along the outer perimeter, well, along the round part of the pie-shaped bed. And these lava rock are going to do good. Well, the orange and white, this citrus mix is going to go good with the rest of the theme in the yard. Look at it. Nice blooms. And this is going to be flooding out with color. We have the candy tuft around the rounded part of the bed. And they're going to fill in as a solid drift going around. And they have nice clusters, nice little white clusters here. And this is what they're going to look like when they fill in. It'll just be a solid white ring. It's going to be beautiful. If you like this content and want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button so that you can get all our videos, and the notification bell lets you know when they're being posted. Enjoy your day.